Today I want to talk about U.S. history for high school. Welcome, my name is Rachel. I am a homeschool mom of 4 boys. We are entering our 17th year, so I have graduated too. And this school year I have a 7th grader and another senior. And I am going to be sharing thoughts on the curriculum that my senior this school year used the last couple years. I really wanted to share this video with you. I wasn't sure how. The curriculum just surpassed my expectations, and I think it might be more because how it affected my son. So I'm going to share that with you in just a minute, but I do want to tell you that we are a Christian homeschool family. We do have a Christian worldview. We are eclectic. I do love living books. I love the idea of Charlotte Mason. So this curriculum is a Charlotte Mason style curriculum. And I also want to share that it is a boxed curriculum. It is a full curriculum from Heart of Dakota. And this is what they call the student teacher guide, because everything is in here. And I have talked about this in past videos. I will link those years below. But I want to talk specifically about the curriculum, and this is why. I feel like I can't really express the gratefulness, the excitement that I have for this U.S. history high school curriculum. This is from the perspective of a family who really enjoys history, really just enthusiastic, reads a lot of extra books about U.S. history throughout our homeschool journey. But this particular curriculum was used with my one that is not as enthusiastic, but he's really that way with anything. He's just sort of more laid back, doesn't express his opinion as much, and he is number 3, so he has 2 older brothers that do a lot of that for him. So it really takes a lot to excite him, to talk about something passionately, and I really started to see some of that come out as he was reading through this curriculum. I don't know if it was just a peak of maturity, or if it was the curriculum, or just a combination of both, but we were at the point that he is not my reader, so let me tell you that, and I will share some of the books we found on audio. So we did do a lot of the reading together, but there was always discussion. But we came to the point where he was beginning to do a lot of the reading on his own, and also saying, I think you should read this part, Mom. I think you should read this part. And then he would discuss it and talk about it, or if a subject came up, he would tell me his thoughts and opinions. So I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. Very excited. And I really think it was the way that this curriculum brought about our United States of America, and just really gave you all sides of it. So it was really exciting to see him come out of his comfort zone. Okay, so this is a Charlotte Mason style curriculum. They use a lot of books. As I showed you, a lot of spines, living books, source documents, and videos. And we did use audio books for at least one of them, and I'll share that with you. So this is a 2-year program. So it is American History 1 and American History 2. With high school curriculum, he only needed 1 credit. So the second year, I really wanted him to finish out, and I'm so glad I did, because that's when I really started to see the growth. And that particular year, I just let him read through the books. It's all scheduled in these guides of what to read every day. The first school year, it included notebooking work, mapping, narration, and things like that. So I have videos on the 10th grade year and on 11th grade. So I'll try to link as much as I can that would talk about the history for you below. But I really just wanted to share these books. because I feel like a lot of times with high school, we're just looking, and I remember looking. I looked at curriculum that was good curriculum. Like I felt like Master Books has a U.S. history. I'm trying to remember who it's from, but I really read through a lot of it that I could, free online, and I really thought this was really good, and looked at Knotgrass. I really thought that was really good, but I knew in my heart that just one textbook was not going to work for him. And then I found we were already using Heart of Dakota. I had just not used the U.S. history. So there was another book that I got from the library, and I think it's one that another curriculum uses, a Patriot something. I could be wrong. And then I found this book from Heart of Dakota, and I got it from the library. So I did do a lot of research about this. I didn't just pick up, no, this sounds good, this will work. And I feel like I sort of made that mistake with my two older ones, but they were so different, and that will have to be another discussion in a different video. So I do want to talk about this history because I'm very thankful that I took the time and really thought about and prayed about what was going to work for him. So let me share these books with you and videos, my thoughts about them, because even if you don't use this curriculum, it might be something you want to add in, or maybe you piece your own curriculum together. I actually think they use this particular book in the Charlotte Mason curriculum. So the other books may give you some ideas. I don't know. I didn't really research out all that they use, but I do think they use that one. So let's look at this curriculum. These are the books. Keep in mind, this is a 2-year program, so there is a few extra. Now, I didn't mention that they do have living books, and we did not use any of those. We just used the spines. And I did have the geography type book right here. And these are the manuals that would have the instructions on what to do each and every day. And I think that's one reason it worked for him. It wasn't the same thing every day. So that was sort of helpful. I'm going to start with this, The Last Best Hope. There is 2 volumes. This one starts in year 1, and you actually end it at the very beginning of year 2. So that's how far that book goes through. Now these books are really good. Like I said, I got it at the library. I also found it on audio that my son listened to the first year, and the second year I found this one on Audible, so he was able to listen to this. So this one he more followed along and did the notebook work and that type of thing. But like I said, the second year it was more just reading through the books as much as he could as they were scheduled in the guides. So these 2 books are by William J. Bennett, and the thing that I liked about it for me is when I first started reading it, I thought, okay, this is interesting enough. But, you know, at his level, like he could still read it. I know they look like thick books, but they have a lot of knowledge and expertise, but they also have a lot of wit to them as he shares about America's heritage, not just like a dry textbook, but brings it to life. He expresses vision and the fight our country engaged in, and with so many different people, so many different kinds of people. So that is what is really good about these books. Now, volume 2 begins with the events leading up to World War I. Then it traces the progress of the U.S. through the end of the Reagan presidency. So that's how far that goes. Okay, so let me go over here. I almost forgot about this book. This is Faith of Our Fathers. And what I liked about this curriculum is they did intertwine some church history, which I think is very important. So there's people like Anne Bradstreet, Jonathan Edwards, Samuel Morse, Billy Sunday, that he was able to read about, that people that would have evangelized our country with the Word of God. So I think that's really important to study. I'm trying to see if there's like a chapter where you can see the different people that this book is about, and this would just be something he might read on and off throughout. The Great Awakening, people there, Christian building a nation, growth in an age of progress, and faithfulness in age of controversy. So it was really good that this was intertwined, and this was a really, really good book. Now, another one would be Great Letters in American History. Now, I enjoy documents, which there is a book that has the great documents, but I always enjoy actually reading letters. So there's always a short description of the person and who or why the letter is to, and you really get to see someone when they are writing more of a personal letter. So that's what I really like. And if you turn it over, you can read some of the people, and this is just some of them. Like I actually wrote Churchill and Martin Luther King Jr., and those I remember were really good too. So I wanted to share that book with you. Now, this is the Book of Heroes, Great Men and Women of American History. This just goes in a little bit more depth of some of these people, including George Washington, Daniel Boone, Louise May Alcott, Robert E. Lee, Andrew Carnegie, George Washington Carver, and many more. So this is just something, it is a Charlotte Mason style. So one day you might be reading out of this and maybe a chapter out of this, or you might be reading some great documents and watching a video. So let me mention the videos. Okay, here are the two video sets, and I know I've heard from a lot of people, we don't have DVD sets, DVD doesn't work on the computer. I don't even know if they actually sell it in DVD form anymore. I know it's more of a USB, so you can stick it into your computer, into your TV now, but this is how we have it, and we just have not replaced it, and we haven't had any problems with them being old or anything. So it is from History to You. I will link them below. I know people that will use just this for their curriculum, because I think there's also print-offs from either the website or maybe the USB, or as I have, the DVD. So these are not boring classroom lecture videos. They are really geared towards students at the high school level, even college level. For those really interested in history, they definitely have a conservative view, I will tell you that. Now, of course, in the beginning of history, they're just using a lot of pictures to emphasize what they're talking about, whether it be artwork or at some point is real photography done. And then in the second DVD, which is used the second year, U.S. History 2, you will have like newsreel videos, motion picture footage, and just like film, or even some of them you could have filmed reenactments. So it's not like a lecture. So that's what I think was really good about it, and it really intertwined with what you were reading. So that is why I like the scheduling of Heart of Dakota. She really took this and put it all together, and you'll hear more about what I mean by that when I talk about another book up here. Okay, so we have great documents. This would be year 1, and then they have a volume for year 2 that will be referred to and talked about. These are pretty interesting, in-depth books that you could probably use as a standalone, but she has intertwined them in this Charlotte Mason style curriculum. So this Never Before in America History Inspired Birth really gives you some original sources, starts way before the founding of America itself, and gives an overview of how God was using lives of Christians before and during early America. So I'm going to share some pictures with you inside, see if we can find some. So they're not really hard or long chapters. There's like some source documents in there. So just wanted to share that book with you also. And this, I want to say, is probably used more in the first year. Okay, before I jump into this book, I do want to say there was one book that I was able to find on the computer, but he didn't really use it because it was used during the second year, and that was Key Decisions in U.S. History. I feel like there may have been a volume 1, but there is a volume 2. And really, I had a hard time finding it unless I ordered it from Heart of Dakota, but I did find it free. But because it was used for his second year, it was just something I didn't really push. I wanted him to read the main books, but it would have sounded like it would have really been interesting. It was really just giving you some key things, decisions that had to be made, crucial issues, and then sort of giving you a chance to see what you would say before they gave you the outcome. So I wanted to share that with you. It was called Key Decisions in U.S. History. Now, Mystery of History was also used in year 2. They didn't start it right away. When I talked about intertwining all these books together, that's what I mean. Even in this particular book, she did not follow, like you just didn't read chapter after chapter. You actually jumped around quite a bit in this book. But she had purpose in all of it. So that was really worth the Heart of Dakota's guide for the way she did this and intertwined these other books, DVDs with it. So this is definitely a good book, and I have mentioned before that I really do feel like this is definitely upper middle school and definitely a high school book. In it, you're going to talk about the collapsed Soviet Union, a divided Korea, tension in the Middle East, an ongoing war of terror. And so I'm actually taking their words that it does take you through wars of independence, wars of ideology between Marxism, Darwinism, fascism, and the Cold War. And this is all, the author of this book is a Christian, so this is from a Christian perspective. So it really was something we enjoyed reading together and having good discussions, but also this is one of those books that he just took off on his own and started reading. So, all right, I hope this video just sort of sparked an interest. Maybe it doesn't even have to be in this particular curriculum. Maybe you saw a book that you thought, ooh, I would love to read that one, or the videos, definitely worth watching. We have been through them a couple of times. So we did use those even with my older boys, just not in there specifically for their history in high school. So I do want to let you know that. So we've watched through those a couple times. They actually have some specifically about like World War I and World War II and the Great Depression. So, and they're a little bit shorter, but they go more in depth. So I did want to share that too with you. So I'll link that below. I'll link Heart of Dakota below. I am not going to go through the guides themselves. I have a video that I sort of gave an idea. I think maybe it might have been a week's schedule, and I will link that below. And you can find any of these books on the Heart of Dakota site under US 1 and US 2 if you check out their programs, and I'll link it below so it'll be easy to find for you, hopefully. But I hope that was encouraging. I just wanted to share because I know for me, and just the enthusiasm my son had after that school year was just so encouraging. And really, he's gone on to be more interested in maybe not specifically reading books, but he has listened to a couple books. This past summer, he listened to God Smuggler, and he listened to the autobiography of Adonai Judson, I think it was. So, and that encourages me that he just, to me, it gave you an interest of like, okay, now that I sort of understand history altogether, what else was going on during those times? So, all right, I do appreciate you all watching. I do love doing homeschool content, past and present. So if you are new here and you enjoy that type of content, I would love for you to join us by subscribing. If this was helpful, give it a thumbs up. That would encourage me. And I will be talking to you all again soon. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you.